We are two best friends on a mission to watch every single Adam Sandler film.
So far, we've watched 24 of them. This week, we watched the Meyerowitz stories.
Most people really like this film, but that didn't stop a handful from hating it too. Today, we find out the truth.
We play a game of Adam Sandler themed bingo around here using all the tropes of an Adam Sandler film. Up on screen are our bingo cards this week. Joe, how did you go?
I didn't score bingo.
No, not even slightly.
This film still had bingo squares, like he wore shorts the whole time, there was loads of screaming. Shut the fuck up! But all I had was fight scene, though all verbal.
I beat you!
And boobs.
Yeah, if we're gonna count this, we have a square for Dad Rock Montage, but instead of Dad Rock, we had a piano montage, but it was a dad playing it.
Say it with confidence and look him in the eye.
Shorter bingo this week, so let's get straight into the review.
The movie starts in a really anxiety-inducing way, and it's just Adam Sandler and his daughter trying to find a parking spot, and Sandler just screaming the whole way through.
Son of a bitch!
Dad, stop yelling in the car!
And usually you'd be like, oh, this is another screamy, silly Adam Sandler film, but it's set up in a way that the vibe is actually really realistic and down to earth, and it's a different kind of film.
So immediately Sandler is at his father's house, he's going for a visit, and we get introduced to these family dynamics, these dysfunctional family dynamics, which harkened for me back to Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, it was very Punch Drunk Lovey and kind of his relationship with the sisters in that film.
Yeah.
The family's always squabbling. Yeah. And even right out the gate, you're like, oh, Sandler trying to find a park is just representative of what the energy is going to be when he goes into his dad's house that he's trying to park for.
You can tell now why he's anxious.
Yeah.
Long and short of it is he's neurotic because he can't be late to his father because his father's gonna make a comment.
Yeah. So they're in the house. His father's Dustin Hoffman, just like the cobbler who's married to his fourth wife.
What a reference.
His sister's name is Jean. He's there with his daughter, Eliza. And they keep talking of this other brother, Matthew, who's not currently present.
Matthew's, in fact, the only one of the family who's figured out how to make money.
And we also discover that Adam Sandler's currently going through a divorce. And it's very fresh, and he was a house husband for the majority of his life. So now he's got to find a place to live and a place of employment.
But we start to see the through line of this film is daddy issues. As Dustin Hoffman's kids try and talk to him about their lives, he keeps bringing it back to his work as a sculptor and an artist and about how he's making new stuff and he's still relevant, but he's just not listening to his children.
His dad's just a classic narcissist, so self-absorbed. It's like he had children just to have children, but he just really wants to focus on his career and be the man of the house.
But he just can't stop yapping on about Matthew, and you start to realize like Sandler and his sister Jean, played by Elizabeth Marvel, just seem to be put in the background, even though they were his first two kids to another woman compared to Ben Stiller, who is the youngest.
We have this really nice moment of Sandler bonding with his father, and it's really sweet, and it's so quickly crippled by Hoffman being really reluctant to invite him to this art show that he's been invited to.
Yeah.
And Sandler's saying, I want to come with you, I want to spend time with you. But Hoffman is almost ashamed of his own son to bring him, and it is heart-wrenching to watch.
I could see about getting you a ticket. You might have to pay.
Okay, whatever.
Quickly becomes this rift between Sandler and Hoffman because Sandler gets left to the side and Hoffman goes to try and relive the heyday and still be this notable man.
It's almost like his true self comes out after they've spent like a nice father and son montage getting along, but now it's like, oh, we're out in the world. He's actually more concerned with himself and his legacy. And earlier on, the kids are trying to say, yo, we're putting together like a retrospective art show for you because Sandler's daughter's university had a space for it. And he's like, no, I'm still doing works. I'm still doing new stuff. It's not time for my retrospective, but it's clearly kind of washed up in the scene, and it is sad to watch for Hoffman as well.
But also so much tougher to watch looking through the lens of the children.
Yeah.
And he's just like neglecting them at that age when they're all adults now, and yet the kids still pine for his attention. So anyways, Hoffman decides that he's no longer wanting to be at this art exhibition. He feels schnubbed and he runs off.
Very funny scene of him running down the street. It's something I would do at a high school party. If I got embarrassed, I'd run home, except it's Dustin Hoffman.
We move to the next chapter of the film where we're introduced to brother Matthew, played by Ben Stiller. It's clear Ben Stiller is very dissimilar to his father in that he's a businessman and he has no intention of wanting to have a relationship with his father like Danny, played by Adam Sandler, does.
And he's very often noted as the child that is not an artist and figures figured out how to make money, unlike the rest of them.
Yeah. So we cut to a lunch scene where they change locations 3 different times because Dustin Hoffman again feels snubbed by the waiter, by everyone.
I'm not eating here.
Because they wouldn't see you?
Well, the guy was very obnoxious.
Every time Matthew wants to introduce something about his life to Dustin Hoffman and tell a story, Dustin Hoffman has to immediately cut off with, well, here's what's going on in my life.
It's probably my favorite scene of the whole film. They're both just trying to tell each other what's going on and what their accomplishments are, but it's just overlapping and awkward, and neither of them are actually really connecting with each other, and it's kind of heartbreaking.
In recent years, I've essentially been ignored by the
we're a great
Times.
alternative to some of the
And I
bigger
think this
firms.
might put me back on the map.
This is our logo.
$55 for a steak.
And you can see that Ben Stiller is trying to make concessions. Okay, I'll listen to you here, but I was speaking first. But Dustin Hoffman makes none. Along the way, we get this really, really telling interaction where Ben Stiller is kind of forced to bring his dad back to his mum's house, and they're ex-partners, and it's stupidly awkward. And Hoffman is still a prick there.
Your mother's more comfortable ultimately being with men who are half smart than she can dominate. I was much too formidable.
And they get outside, and Ben Stiller just delivers this deafening monologue of anger on deaf ears to Hoffman as he just tells his dad everything that he's feeling.
It doesn't matter how much money I make. You make me feel like a big piece of shit because you don't care about it. But you also actually do. You're privately obsessed with it.
This might seem so harsh on Ben Stiller's part, but the thing is, Hoffman has this way of just almost death by 1,000 cuts, just delivering these tiny little moments of comments and snide remarks.
Yeah.
And
She's
the kids
poking you.
just
She's poking you.
And eventually
One thing I also love about this film is how abruptly it cuts to its next scene sometimes.
I'm going over to Mom's, actually.
Oh, maybe I'll go with you.
I don't know if that's a good...
That was the summer on Martha's.
And we get that soon after this screaming match that Hoffman is now in hospital due to an injury that he was ignoring for months and has now caught up with them.
So the kids all gather at the hospital finally.
You see when they come together after talking about each other on the sidelines for so long, they don't even really catch up. They're just like, oh yeah, how's dad?
Yeah.
Like they're kind of brought together out of obligation and not because they care for each other.
Or their father, really.
Yeah. And there's really no way that we can explain it that would display how full of depth it is and how colorful and crazy and frenetic their relationships are. I just recommend you watch this film.
Yeah.
It's a really great film.
Absolutely.
And just watching the 3 siblings just interact and talk and argue, it's just real beautiful cinematic juice.
Just let me eat my f***ing banana.
We finally get to see what makes Jean play a part in this story, and it's really sad.
Yeah, and why she is the way she is. This old friend of theirs rocks up to the hospital to see their dad, where we then see Elizabeth Marvel's character Jean running away in the car park. She reveals that he exposed himself to her as a young girl, which really deeply affected her. And we hear this beautiful opening up of her character.
The bit I love about this the most is the brothers' reaction. It's flawed, but it's passionate, and they just want to beat the shit out of this old man.
Do we kick the shit out of him? He's 80. Kill him. That's true. Or hurt him very badly. Neither of us could take that nurse. That's for sure.
The bit that they come to in the end is destroying his car.
Yeah.
It's not what Jean wanted. But it's what they did, and it was funny, but also heartbreaking. But it's nice to finally see this family care about each other.
But there is no amount of cars you can beat up to heal a trauma like that. But they still get to know each other better as a family for it.
You guys will never understand what it's like to be me in this family.
And the big unifying front as well is that they're grieving Hoffman, because it seems like he's not going to make it. And they've got this art show coming up, and they have to get to the art show where Hoffman's not going to make it to either. And so it's a very stressful moment, which leads to
the crescendo of Sandler and Stiller finally having it out as siblings, saying all the things that they haven't said to each other over years and years and years of stuff.
Ow! You kicked me in the shin! I was disappointed in you for quitting piano. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Happening right outside the retrospective art show for their father, leading to one of my favorite cuts in the film.
I had the exact same note. It's my favorite cut of the film.
We want to thank Bard for making this show happen.
The emotional climax of the film is their speeches at the art show, because it very quickly goes from talking about the art to talking about their relationships personally with their father.
And like, no, it's not really positive, but it's really cathartic for them, and just they're giving some of the best performances I've seen Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler give. It's really beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and in a shocking turn of events, Hoffman lives and fully recovers.
But it gives the characters an opportunity that a lot of people in real life don't get. They feel empowered to have it out with their dad about how they've really felt about him and growing up. And a lot of people don't get that opportunity when a loved one almost passes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a blessing to watch it play out a bit longer.
And then you see the children start to change the way they are responding to each other and treating each other. But the one person that doesn't change is Hoffman.
Yeah.
He stays the exact same, and he's still belittling them and leaning on them and treating them like absolute shit. And we finally see Sandler stick up to him.
Sorry.
Danny, what are you doing?
Sorry, Dad. I didn't think that would be so loud.
See if you can rescue some of the cookies from the porcelain.
I'm leaving now, Dad. I'm gonna drive back to the city.
That is the beautiful end the film needed, is Sandler finally stopping being walked over by his dad.
Yeah.
Having a relationship with his siblings that was taken away from him. Yeah. It's just gorgeous. And this is your mini wake-up call. That's why we tell you to tell someone you love them today.
I love you. I forgive you. Forgive me. Thank you. Goodbye.
It's so true. This movie's so good.
I know, I'm happy to rate this now. I saw this before a handful of years ago and really liked it, and just, I like it even more. Just the dynamics and the characters and the performances and the way it all cuts and flows together. It's gorgeous. It's gonna be one of my all-time Sandler favorites for sure, and I gave it a 9.
Wow,
It's a near perfect score for me.
That's my boy.
I loved it.
I at first gave it a lowish rating because I thought I'm never gonna watch this again because it was so intense. But now reliving it and talking about it and realizing how much of a profound impact it's had on me, it's bumped itself all the way up to an 8.
Wow.
I thought it was stunning, and maybe I will actually watch it again because I think it's something that is kind of healing for people that maybe have a bit of a turbulent relationship with their fathers. Like, I think this is it holds such a place for that. I love movies that are fully intentional, and a lot of Sandler's works, there's no intention besides let's make a movie that pleases a lot of people. So to really narrow the focus like this was really enjoyable to watch.
But hey, let's pull the next one and see what we're watching next.
The next film we are watching to top the Meyerowitz stories.
Not trash, not trash, not trash.
Mr. Deeds.
Oh!
Okay.
I have not seen Mr. Deeds.
I can't remember what it's about.
Great. If you like this video, we've watched, what, 24 Adam Sandler movies now, so we've got plenty other videos to watch.
But until next time, my friends, make sure to tell someone you love them today.
Bye.
Bye.